Man, oh man, the van smells fantastic. I just delivered a catering party, but I wanted to make a quick video on an update to my post on my business coach, me being asked to remove from his book. Sorry, my voice is out. I guess I have what's called pharyngitis. I feel fine. It's just been like 9, 10 days now. Voice is compromised, but I feel fine. So I made a post on my Facebook about how I asked to be removed from my ex-business coach's best-selling book because I didn't want to be associated with him because I've learned some things that I wasn't happy with and about. I just didn't want to be associated with that. So the credentials weren't important for me to be part of the book. So I've written my own books. I've done my own things. I've been part of bigger books in the health world. And of course my books that I've written myself, I think, are my biggest accomplishment. So I've had a lot of people messaging me saying, Marcus, you're blackmailing James. You're blackmailing James. And so I guess, so I've had no contact from James Smiley. I don't have contact with him. I haven't contacted with him since September. So I guess he posted a video saying that he's being blackmailed and there's a sex scandal. He kicked a student out. I don't think it's me because the timelines don't fit and the sex scandal doesn't fit and kicking me out doesn't fit. So I don't think the video was intended for me. I think he's probably going through with another student blackmailing him because I'm not blackmailing him. I have no contact with him. The only contact I've had was with the publisher or the person who put the book together, and I simply messaged him a couple days ago and said, "Hey, do you mind if I bow out of the book? You know, the future printings, they print on demand, I believe, so you can easily just." I've heard him say that on one of the coaching calls that you can eliminate people just like that in the next printing. It's easy to do. So I said, "Oh, that's easy to do." So I messaged and figured it'd be no big deal, and he asked, "Do you mind why you want to bow out?" I said, "I don't want to be associated." I just said, "I don't want to be associated with James." I said, "I don't want to be associated with James." That's it, you know. So immediately I got blocked on Facebook. I can't find his profile on Facebook. I got blocked. Now, meantime, I defriended him back in July because the plot thickens here. So I hired James back in May of 2018, right? So now we're November 2019. Hired him in May, paid him $16,000 to coach me for the year. Brought my right hand person, what I would call my secret weapon. I brought Lavinia into the coaching calls. They invited her into the coaching calls. She was sitting in the coaching calls, and we'd learn because she would listen to the calls afterwards, and then it just became easier. And James was like, "Yeah, she can totally listen in on the calls, be present on the calls, and figure out what you guys had to do." So she started listening in, and after a couple of months, 2 months of that or so, James sends me a message on Facebook and says, "Hey, I saw Lavinia do this live, Facebook Live, saying she's looking for work. I got I got some work for her, if you don't mind." And I got all these messages. So I got some work for her if you don't mind. As long as you're cool with that. The idea is that she's going to get valuable information and bring it back to your program. And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I gave the green light for that, for that to happen. And next thing I know, within a month or so, Lavinia's not really working much for me at all. I have to like pull things out of her and pull things out of her and pull things out of her to get stuff done. And so I waited a couple more months and I sent James a message and be like, "Yeah, this wasn't supposed to work out like this. Oh, I didn't know that, this and that. I'll fix that right away." And then the story was like, all of a sudden, like, I didn't want her to work for me. And I'm like, "Where'd you guys get that from?" I didn't know. You just stopped working. He's paid you, probably paid you more, and you lured her away with that. So she stopped working for me. So I remember the day very clearly in July, I think. James posted on his Facebook, my secret weapon, Lavinia. Thanks to my secret weapon, Lavinia. And that's what I used to call her, my secret or not so secret weapon, Lavinia, because she did a lot of stuff for me. She really built, strategized. She did so much for me. I gave her tons of credit. She was on a lot of my coaching stuff. She was on the Facebook page as one of the coaches. I gave her free reign, strategies, everything. And then he was like, "Thanks to my secret weapon, Lavinia." And I'm like, "Okay, I just can't watch this anymore. You poached my VA. You stole my assistant. You stole my person that helps me building everything with me. You basically stole her. And I've given you a chance to make it up and make it better, and you haven't. Neither one of you have." So the last time I spoke to her was July. I unfriended James. Just unfriended him, and I unfollowed the group. I don't think know if I removed myself from the group, but I unfollowed the group because I didn't want to see posts. But he has like 2 or 3 groups, so I know I definitely removed myself from one of the groups. Right? I saw nothing to do with the groups, nothing. So in James's video that he just made, but of course I don't think he's about talking about me, because again the timelines are off. He says that he kicked the person out of the group. So I've been gone from the group, and I've been gone from being associated with him as a friend on Facebook for a while. And then he says that this student is involved in a sex scandal. So James, or a lot of coaches, like to use words that are buzzwords that catch people's attention and grab people's attention. So the fact of it just saying sex scandal sounds, ooh, whoa, like it all of a sudden degrades the person. Well, so I don't know if he's talking about me. I'm not involved in a sex scandal. My wife and I do like to go to strip clubs. We go to Vegas, we go to Spearmint Rhino, we go to strip clubs locally or in New York City. We go with friends. We have a good time. But as far as a sex scandal, I've been happily married for 29 years. I'm very happily married, my wife and I, to each other. And so there's no scandal going on my side, which is why I don't think he's talking about me personally. So that's interesting because it's just, so I think the reason why James has not sent me an email is because that he's worrying about this person who is blackmailing. I haven't blackmailed him. I just asked to be removed from the book. Just please remove from the book. I don't want to be associated. That's not blackmail. So, this is why, again, I don't think that James is talking about me. So if any of you, again, I got lots of emails from people, man, you're blackmailing James. Some of them are like, LOL, like they know what's going on, right? They know what's going on. So he also makes a point in the video to say that it's illegal for students to like go in and badmouth and like destroy somebody's business or something. So what happens, folks, when you start charging any amount of money, especially between $10,000 and $25,000 to have somebody coach you, and you have a lot of people that aren't happy with your package, they start talking to each other about the downfalls of the program or the leader. That's just normal. I've had constant contact with a lot of people from the group since day one that I consider friends. I flew to California in August to do a speech, and I met with somebody from the group who wasn't involved in the group anymore. I wasn't involved in the group anymore, to hang out with. All right. I've done side work because I'm in the restaurant industry. There was no restaurant coach in his group. I've done side work for people. I've helped people out. People have helped me out. But again, when you charge that kind of money, the first question that people say is, hey, are you still involved with X and XYZ coach? In this case, Smiley. You involved in Smiley? Some people say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I got out of there. I got. A lot of times people will say, I got kicked out. So he actually said that he kicked this student out, which is another reason why I don't think he's talking about me, because I went from May to May was my 1 year anniversary, May to May. I actually stuck around for 2 extra months on some phone calls because the opportunity was there, and I figured, well, he took my VA from me, so. Let me just stick around for some more. I lost all this work because I just didn't have anybody working for me. It took me 3-4 months to get new VAs, which I have two amazing VAs right now, two kick butt VAs right now that are just amazing. Somebody in his organization also snagged one of my other VAs. I had one of Lavinia's friends, Andrea, was doing some work for me on my Instagram account. And at the end of March, she just like stopped working for me, just like disappeared. I'm like, okay, we talked about a contest, this and that, and didn't post anymore, did nothing anymore, and that was it. Come to find out, she started working for a person involved in James's organization, doing video. I don't know what she was doing, but so nothing was ever even said to me from the person involved in James's organization or the person that went away. Nothing was ever said to me. Like, hey, I can't work with you anymore, this, that. My stuff was just left there. If you're a coach and you're charging money for anybody out there, if you're a coach and charging people for money, you don't snag people and then have them all of a sudden disappear on your students' workload, okay? That's something you don't do. And of course, because of the connections I had with the staff there, with my connection, with him taking, I found out that he was paying to get Instagram followers. So he would go on Instagram and say, I'm blowing this up today. I'm blowing this up. I'm going to show you how to blow up Instagram. My course is coming soon. He literally went from like 500 to 1,000 followers to 25,000. And I'm looking through it. I'm like, who is Ahab, Q-Rod. I'm like, that doesn't look like a real name to me. I'm like, okay. I bought the course anyway. It was like $100. I bought the course anyway. But I was told from somebody who saw the task tracker, said, no, that somebody buys these people daily. And that's the way you're going to grow an Instagram account by 500 people a day, whatever number it was, 100 people to whatever it was. I don't know what the legal limitations are, but those legal limitations were there and they were just getting stretched. And so, after all this and talking to students after I pulled out officially, so he said that he had just kicked this person out. I've been gone, folks. Technically, I've been gone since May. I stuck around for a couple phone calls after that, but technically, I've been gone. So this is another reason why I don't think James is talking about me, because I didn't blackmail him. There's no sex scandal, and he didn't kick me out. My term was up back in May. So those three things just cannot be possible for me to be the reason why James is claiming he's getting blackmailed and all this kind of stuff. He does make some very valid points in that video. Yeah, you do have to have proper insurance and stuff. Even when you go do speeches, to have insurance, because someone might trip over your cord and sue you. These are all things that you need to know that, if you give somebody bad advice too on their business, they can come after you. This person also gave me bad advice. I know I run my coaching business month to month. So if you're one of my students, and by the way, I could never treat any of my students like this. I just never could. I'm not comfortable building that kind of a reputation. Some of the things that I mentioned. So I do mine month to month. When you want to cancel, you cancel. You give me 30 days notice, you're out. People don't cancel though because it's so easy to get in, so easy to get out. James's program makes you get in for a full year. And some people have gotten in and like, I don't like this, I want out. And he holds you to that contract. Like, you're bound to that contract and that's it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. But I noticed people have told me that people get silenced and muted on the calls if they speak up and they don't like something. He mutes them and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people that are not happy. I even heard a mention from somebody from a class action lawsuit that was getting thrown around, So it's a shame that this is happening to James, and I feel bad if somebody's blackmailing him. I really feel bad. Maybe the reason why he hasn't reached out to me via email is because he has bigger fish to worry about right now than me just posting. The bottom line is I didn't want to be part of his book. That's the bottom line. So the normal way that should have gone down was I contacted the publisher, the person who put it together, the person who spearheaded the program. Instead of blocking me right away, shoot me a message, send me an email, and say, hey man, I just heard, I'm disappointed. You had some good stuff in that book. He obviously knows the problem all along. He knows he poached my VA. He knows that. That's not anything new. He knows that. We've had that conversation. And he sent me a message back in September at some point. Where have you been, man? I'm like, I'm just laying low with the coaching thing right now. I'm not sure what that means, but whatever. It was basically like what his thing was. So, so he knows. He didn't want to know anymore. So he just kept going and going with that. So for me, I don't feel right being part of a best-selling book with that there. Now, some of the people in the book, a lot of people in the book are class acts. They are class acts. They're great people. The other people on the cover of the book, Steve Larson, I think Josh Forty is on. These guys are awesome. I love their stuff. I don't have the same relationship as I do with them as I do with James, but I personally met them and I watched their stuff on their social media channels, and I love what they have to say. I really, really love it. So that's interesting. So, James is claiming that he has an attorney team on this. So, which is again is another reason why I don't think it's me, because I've had companies come after me with attorney teams, and within 5 hours of me posting content, even one weekend once, I had a spirit company. The attorney was relentless, sending me cease and desist on my email. My email box was loaded up with cease and desist. They gave me timelines, they gave me this, they gave me that. And so I took it to my attorney and said, well, I'm very, very close with, and he instructed me what to do on the video to make some changes. So I made a new video, made the changes, and I said, here's my personal review, opinions, thoughts, whatever it was. And I sent it back to the attorney. I'm like, how does this fly? Never heard another word from that attorney again. But until when I first posted that, and this was on a local spirit company, because they were frauding people, they were downright scamming people, and I couldn't take people walking into my bar and saying, "Why aren't you supporting this local company? They're doing this great thing." I'm like, they're not doing a great thing. They're scammers. They're con artists. They don't make their own product. They're not donating to the charities they say. They're not affiliated with the people they say they are. They're just not. And I know this inside information from the board members, from the organization they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be involved in, and they're not. All these board members got threatened to be sued every time they posted something. And same thing with me. I got threatened to be sued, but my attorney rewrote my script. I put it up, and it was totally fine. And they haven't come after me since. So I do have an attorney. Like a couple of years ago, I like to post controversial stuff here and there. I think it gets good attention, but I only post it when I feel that people need to wake up and be educated on a company or a person. Even like the village building inspector, people need to be educated on him. Somebody came in the other night. This is like a 4-year-old thing, 5-year-old thing. Somebody came in the other night with their complaint forms. I'm sending these to the state. I'm complaining on Brian Shug. I watched your videos. I saw your website. Thank you so much for speaking up. You're my inspiration. You're my hope. You're my hero. I hope we can get something done. And so that's why I do this stuff, so people don't become victims to these companies and to these people that are out there taking advantage of people. It's not right. And if nobody's I was always taught, by my parents always taught me, stand up for yourself. Stand up here. Don't let people take advantage of you. No, don't just go out there and blab things out. But if somebody's taking advantage of you, you have an opportunity to warn others. You warn others. You bring that to the light to educate people so other people don't make the same mistakes that you do. And the funny thing is, when you go to James's Facebook fan page, or you go anywhere, his Google page, there's no opportunity to actually rate him. There's nothing there like you can actually give him stars, 1 to 5 stars, nothing there to actually, or there wasn't, let's put it that way. There wasn't. So there was no way to rate him officially, which is discerning, because if somebody's charging somebody $300 a month or $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month, you should be able to go on and see legitimate reviews from people that have actually been in the system that are going on a third-party platform. Now, there are reviews on people's websites. Okay, so if you go to anybody's website, any of these coaches, you go to Tony Robbins, you go to any of them, you'll see people that leave testimonials, right? You go to Russell Brunson's testimonials. That's obvious. So now, I know when James was working with my testimonials, because that's one thing he teaches, to get testimonials, because testimonials are powerful. It's a psychological bias. People will buy things from people, what other people say about them without them even knowing the other person. So it's just to train your brain like that. That's the way we're wired. So here's what happened. I went out and got my testimonials. And I'm like, here's what so-and-so said. Boom, 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 4 sentences. He'd go on and right onto my funnel, share the screen or share my account. He'd go right in, zap, zap, zap. I'm like, they didn't say that. He's like, well, this looks better. And I'm like, man, you just totally changed. You just totally changed what that person took time out of their day to give me a testimonial on. You just totally changed their wording. Well, this is what I was very uncomfortable with that, and I actually went back and changed things later, because I'm like, what if so-and-so, a friend of mine, or somebody who respects me or knows my business, took the time out to do that? What if they go on and be like, Marcus, well, I didn't say that about you. Why'd you take advantage of what I said about you? Like, I'd feel so guilty. So I was like, man, I got to change this stuff back. So I had to go back to the original email that these people sent me to go back and like change things back. I'm like, that's not what that person said. So, so here's the thing, folks, whether it's James Smiley, anybody, in this realm of coaches, I'd be very, very wary if they start using tactics like Mr. Smiley's doing right now, going on his page and saying, I'm getting blackmailed, there's a sex scandal, I kicked somebody out. Because whatever happened, obviously that was nothing with me. There's nothing with me. But that stuff you don't really like who you warning? Who you warning? Your students don't really know this person. They're not going to do big, right? Like, who are you warning? You're the guy who's taking everybody's money. So if now you have to think like, man, like, I'm waiting for James to come after me next because I called his bluff on stuff. So, but I'm not involved in a sex scandal and all this other stuff and blackmail. So the headline's not as catchy as he got, whatever somebody else did him on. And he's willing to go after anybody who crosses him. These kind of people are willing to go after anybody who crosses him and say whatever. Like, you have no idea if he really got. Now, if he's really talking about me, folks, if he's really 100% talking about me, all that stuff is made up. All that stuff is made up. So if he made up stuff about me, what is he going to make up about you? That these people are there to prove a point. They're there to play the victim role, like, oh, poor me, somebody's blackmailing me, and this person's in a sex scandal, and I'm degrading them right now, bringing them to a lower level. So this is like serious implications if he's talking about me personally about that. But again, I don't think he is, because none of that matches up. None of that matches up. There's no sex scandal. There's no blackmail. He said his attorneys are on it. If his attorneys were on it, I probably would have gotten an email from his attorneys, an official cease and desist. I've gotten those before, folks. Like I said, I've gotten those official letters from attorneys. So I've seen them, I've done them. I've called out companies that have the real attorneys on this and that are trying to hide the truth. So that's, I know I said about 20 minutes worth of stuff on here. I just wish James all the luck in being blackmailed there, because it's not fun to be blackmailed. I can imagine going through the pain of having somebody having something on you and demanding some kind of ransom or some kind of something. I'm sure that kind of sucks. And again, that couldn't be me, because I've had no contact with James. I've had no contact with him. Just the person who put the book together was the only person I asked to. In fact, he blocked me, so I couldn't have any. He blocked me. I can't even find his profile. He blocked me, so I couldn't have had any. I could not have even had any demands put on him. So, all right, folks, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Be wise on the coaches you choose in the future. I know right now I have an amazing coaching program I'm involved in from a team out of New York City. A guy in New York City that's just amazing. My accountability partner is kick butt. I'm getting so much accomplished and moving forward in light speeds right now. This coaching program that is a fraction of the price that I pay James. If anybody's in the New York metro area and wants more information about that, just drop me an email, marcus@marcusjuliano.com, and I'll turn you on. I've turned several other people on to this program in the metro area here. They're like, Marcus, thank you. This is a great, great program. They have monthly meetings. They have speakers. They do a bunch of stuff. So it's really, really cool and inspirational. A lot of stuff's taken from Tony Robbins, directly from Tony Robbins. A lot of the staff on or a lot of people involved in the program, a lot of the other accountability buddies, a lot of people are like Tony Robbins, like huge fans. They do go volunteer a lot at all of his, at a lot of the Date with Destinies, UPWs, all that kind of stuff. There are a bunch of volunteers, so they're really involved and they're really living that part of that. So, all right, folks, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And again, if James is getting blackmailed from somebody, that's bad. I feel bad for that, because that totally sucks. I can sympathize with that. And again, I'm the least of his problems. I just simply want to be removed from the book. Didn't want to be associated with any of that. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Got to go now.